Hey guys, how you doing? Carlos here from YuGiDojo, and this video is basically going to tell you the top 5 playing mistakes we should not do at all. I've done these mistakes many a time, and sometimes I still do them, but I thought I'd give you guys a little insight on it and let me know what you guys think about this too, okay? One of the main things that I see that I do sometimes is, let's say I have my cards in my hand here, right? Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I have my 6 cards in hand. Let's just say this was an attack mode, right? And these are the cards that are in my hand, let's say. So I have this Book of Moon here, and it's my main phase 1. And my opponent may actually have, I'm just going to use this as an example here. They have a set card, and I have no idea what that set card is. So sometimes what I tend to do is sometimes I set my back row before I even attack, and then I attack my opponent. Now the thing that we shouldn't do is we shouldn't be putting this card down, because one, we can't use it that turn unless, let's say like this Book of Moon, I'm not going to be able to use it now because it's a quick spell and I put it down, but I have no idea what am I attacking into. Let's say I'm playing against a Lightsworn player or any player that plays with a Raikou. They flip it. Let's say this was a Raikou. Now they have options. They can either go for my creature or go for my back row. If I didn't put down the back row card, they would just have the option of putting for only doing my creature. So therefore, me setting first and then attacking, bad move due to the fact that I can lose it. And I'm not even going to be able to use it. The other thing that I've actually done myself, and some people tend to do also, is if they happen to see a card that their opponent plays and they have no idea what it does, they ask the opponent, well, what does that card do? You know, like let's say Magical Dimension. Let's say I know what Magical Dimension does because I play with it, but let's just say my opponent did it, and that's not really that card that's being played a lot, so I don't know what it does. So sometimes people just say, oh, what does that card do? And as an opponent, they explain it to you, and you go, oh, okay, no problem. Now, what I would say is, you need to read that card. You know, that's one of the mistakes, is not reading the card, because sometimes they may not understand the card themselves, even though they're playing it, and they may not know certain rules that apply to the cards. Like, let's say for this particular card, Magical Dimension, there's a timing thing that's involved inside with this card, and there's a lot of rules that go with this card. Let's say like when I flip this over or use it, I don't have to sacrifice my creature. I have to wait to see if the opponent's going to do anything, whether they Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment it, and then therefore, you know, I can go continue on with the rest of the effects that are on the card. So after I tribute and then I target one of their cards, they can't bottomless what I'm doing. I'm not trying to explain this card, but I'm just showing you an example of a card that has a lot of, you know, things on it that you need to read. If you need to read it over 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you go do that. Don't think just because you don't know what a card does that you're not a good player or anything. Actually, you become a better player, because now when you see that card, you know certain things and you know how to go over it. Believe me, many a times I've read my opponent told me what the card does, and then I read it, and they misunderstood it altogether, and I've had a judge come over and explain it, and I've come out to be correct, so therefore they were using it incorrectly. So always read your opponent's cards that you don't understand. The third one is, which is pretty funny that people actually do this, is forgetting to use your monster's effects or even your card effects that you have there. For example, let me just use my Gravekeeper's Recruiter here. Sometimes, even though I know it's mandatory that I have to go look for a Gravekeeper, I forget sometimes to go do recruiter's effects. Sometimes when when I do the magical dimension, put recruiter away, and I'm, let's say, dishing out visionary, I forget that I can just still do my search with the recruiter. And a lot of people actually do that. Let's say with Treeborn Frog, sometimes they forget that they could bring it back into their standby phase, and then by the time they set another card or do whatever, set another creature, they remember, oh, I got to put this into play. It's too late. That your standby phase is over. It is done. You cannot do it anymore. Just like with Gemini Sparks. Gemini Sparks has two effects on it. One, you sacrifice one of your Gemini monsters to destroy a card on the field. Now, people remember that effect. Sometimes they even forget that it has the second effect of drawing a card. So sometimes they get too much involved in the battle part of removing creatures that they forget to draw the card. Similar to like what I said with my recruiter. I do this, bring this out, destroy their card, and I forget sometimes that I gotta go search. So don't forget to use your monsters and your card effects correctly. The fourth thing, was that 4, 3? Nope, I really don't remember, but I'm gonna go with the next one, which is, let's say we have a bunch of face down cards. All right, I got a Solemn Warning here. We got Dust Tornado and Solemn Judgment. These have been set. It's my opponent's turn. Let's say they have one set, and they attempt to summon Gravekeeper's Visionary, let's just say. Now, I see this happen a lot, that they set, they say summon, and we just say okay. Now, what we need to do is to not forget to look at all our face down and sets cards after every play our opponent makes. Because since I have a Solemn Warning here, I could have stopped that. Or I could have used the Solemn Judgment to stop that from coming into play. So every time your opponent does something, make sure you look at all your cards to see if you have something that you could do against it. So let's say they say done, and now it's my turn. I draw my card. I forgot that I could use my Dust Tornado on there. So even after every phase that they have, or whatever they do, look at all your cards. Even if you think you know what they are, look at them again. One time, just recently, I was playtesting with Leo, and he summoned a creature that was like 1600. I don't remember which creature it was. But I had a bottomless set, and I thought it was a dimensional prison. So I said, fine, okay. And then when he attacked, I flipped the bottomless. And then I didn't realize, that's when I realized, oh man, I should have looked. He won the game because of that mistake too. So I would always say, flip, check your cards all the time. Now the number one thing, and the one thing that I see that a lot of people need to start doing, and I'm not saying that people aren't trustworthy, but you need to keep score for both you and your opponent. No matter what you do, no matter how trustworthy you believe that your opponent is, you need to always keep score for the both of you. Because if you don't, one or two things may happen. He's going to cheat you, or you may not know what the score is, and not knowing what the score is, attacking into them to win the game. So what I suggest is getting any tools, whether it's the calculator that you have, whether it's anything that you, paper and pen works, do whatever you need to do to keep score. With me, I have an app that's a great app, which is YuGiDojo. And I use this all the time. You see it has my opponents, and then it has my score here. And the reason why I like this over some of the free ones that I have mentioned one time before is that it actually has a tape here. So let's say, for example, I Solemn Warning. my opponent's monster. I take 2,000. I attack for 600. You know, so now that's the score. Now my turn, nothing happens. On his turn, I hit him for 2,000. So you can see that the score is 6,000, 5,400. But let's say I ask, why did I lose 2,000, or where did I lose 2,000? We could just click tape, and there you see it, the record of what happened. You know, first he got 600, then 2,000. I got my 2,000. Go back to tape. You can continue going on. So it keeps a tally of what happened. So I think this is a great app. Another thing is that it has a dice roll that you can use. If you don't have the dice, you can use the one that's here. And it's really, really easy to use. So definitely you need to find some way to keep score. I definitely would say use this app. I'm going to put a link on the site. Well, there is. If you go to the website right now, www.yugidojo.com, you're going to see the icon for this app. So right on the site on the right hand side, if you see the YCal app, click on that and you can purchase it right there. This is a great app. I'm going to say this is probably the best app that I've bought so far pertaining to Yu-Gi-Oh ever. So with that being said, remember the top 5 things that we should not be doing is number 5 is to set traps and spell cards before attacking. We want to make sure we use them. Number 4, not reading your opponent's cards. You know, you need to know the cards. Make sure you understand them. Number 3, forgetting to use your monster's effects and the card effects on them. You know, that's key because that makes the difference between winning and losing a game. Number 2, not looking at all your face down cards after every play. So make sure that you look at them, because this one card here can make the difference in you winning and losing the game also. And the number 1, make sure you keep score for you and your opponent, because that's definitely how you can basically lose. I think I saw in somebody's video, they said if my opponent doesn't keep score, I'm winning every single game, because they can't prove anything about what I got hit with. So with that, you know, rate, thumbs up this video. Let me know what your comments are. If you know any other top playing mistakes we should not do, leave it in the comments. All right, so hope this helped you guys out. And like I said, leave comments, let me know, because I make these mistakes myself, and I'm trying not to. So let's be better Yu-Gi-Oh players and keep our resolution. Speak to you guys later. Bye.